Tony, finally you're here. The shower has been acting up since morning. Can you please take a look at it? Sure, Mrs. Jameson. It's all fixed. Thank you so much. No problem. Call me if you need anything. Tony. He's the kind of man who blends seamlessly into the wallpaper. If wallpaper had no color, texture, or interest. He has one of those faces you forget the second you look away. A presence that is as easily dismissed as a missed phone call. He's in his mid-40s, the super of a luxurious apartment building in the heart of New York City, and a forever loner. The tenants, all too busy with their own lives, hardly ever noticed him. They called on him only when they had a clogged sink or a flickering light bulb. For the most part, Tony's existence consisted of doing things he didn't mind. Fixing leaks, replacing light bulbs, ensuring the garbage chutes were free of obstruction. His life was monotonous as a droning elevator music loop. But Tony had a secret. He was, in a sense, watching the tenants. And he felt no guilt. Wasn't that his job? He was merely observing. It kept him entertained. Take Mrs. James, for example. She was the perfect wife. The housewife that seemed to have it all. Beautiful, poised, effortlessly elegant, or so it seemed. Tony had been watching her since the day she moved in. She looked too perfect for her stiff corporate husband, Mr. James, who worked late, never seemed to notice her. Tony saw it all, her pacing around, her frown deepening the sadness that hung like a cloud over her flawless face. But boy, Mrs. Jameson was no innocent woman. One evening, Tony watched her slip out of the building wearing a sleek black dress that could have been the reason someone might write an ode to an outfit. Finally, a date night. She headed straight to a waiting black car outside the complex. Oh, a lover. What caught Tony's attention wasn't just the affair he was witnessing, but the look in her eyes, a kind of hunger, a desperation for something more, something deeper than her lonely life. Too bad she didn't bat an eye at Tony. And every now and then, Tony would search for the opportunity to get in on the drama, checking on her phone whenever she called him in for repairs. Mrs. James always left her phone unattended on a windowsill. A tiny slip of fortune. He'd read her texts. He knew all about the man she was seeing, a man she'd met online, Well, at least someone's getting more than a clogged toilet. Then there was Rachel, cold, calculating, and always in a rush, as if she were late for some meeting. Rachel was the kind of businesswoman too sophisticated to be anything casual. She was all about money, hanging out with only the elite, and dining at only the fanciest. Yet, Tony had uncovered something about her that seemed to defy her perfectly curated exterior. She was in a secret relationship with Tom, the college student who lived next door. Tony didn't miss anything. He watched them exchange the kind of stolen glances that could be mistaken for a mixed cue on an old spy film. There was no way Rachel would want her little secret out. And sometimes Tony would tease at her, watch her in her anticipation, like the other day in the lobby when Tony caught her eyeing the pizza guy. He called her out, pretending to be the innocent, ever-helpful maintenance guy. "Oh, Rachel, you left your keys on the counter. You must have been distracted by someone." Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Tony. But I don't think that was any of your business. Sure thing, Rachel. You know, when things get messy, it's the maintenance guy who cleans up. Then, of course, there was Mrs. Simmons, an eccentric old lady who shuffled from one apartment to another, muttering to herself like she had a private conversation going on in her head. The other tenants dismissed her as harmless. Tony had been piecing together her story for years. How her children had betrayed her, trying to seize her inheritance. Now she lived alone, hoarding secrets and money, cutting ties with her greedy offspring. Anyone who would rob that apartment would be a millionaire. But Tony wasn't that low. One afternoon, Tony caught her near the elevator, her arms full of grocery bags. "Mrs. Simmons, how's it going? How are the sons? Jonathan, is that right?" "Don't even mention him, Tony. I'd rather speak to a brick wall. At least, the wall doesn't ask for more money. Seems like he's the one who's always taking and never giving." "Well, it's not like he's the only one. People, they all want something."
Detectives are scrambling to understand the motive behind a series of brutal murders of young, beautiful women from wealthy families. As a third body was discovered just days before Valentine's Day, authorities are urging everyone, particularly those from high-profile circles, to be extra cautious about who they meet during the romantic holiday. With the killer's exact motives unclear, local law enforcement continue to advise extra vigilance in public and private spaces.
But no tenant in Tony's building captured his attention the way Ivy did. She moved in last week. Ivy was a mystery wrapped in a high-end coat. Mysterious, elegant, and never seen during the day except for brief glimpses. A shadow passing by an apartment window here and there. Tony couldn't help himself. He had to know what she was about. He began showing up at her apartment under the guise of maintenance checks. fixing broken light bulbs and making up other minor repairs. And each time he observed, her apartment was immaculate. But there were strange details. Oh, so that's not her natural hair. She wears wigs. Tons of wigs hanging neatly in her closet. Makeup kits scattered on a vanity, and an eerie absence of photos and personal items. Ivy was also very punctual with her time. Always did everything on the clock. And Friday night was laundry night. Of course, Tony was always there to give her company.
Hello, Ivy. How are you? All fine.
BIIPD warning young women to stay alert after a new victim was discovered in the chilling serial killer case. The victim, a well-known socialite, was found in her luxury apartment, with signs pointing to the same killer who had previously targeted other young, wealthy women. Authorities stressed about new acquaintances, especially as the holiday of love draws closer. It's crazy living in the city. Gotta be careful who you're around. Yes, I'm always careful. Remember, if you need anything, just give me a call. Ivy's basket of laundry. Tony would take a look every time. Men's clothes. Does she have a boyfriend? No man ever came or went to Ivy's apartment. In all this came the evening of the package delivery, a nondescript box left in the lobby with Ivy's name. Tony, ever the opportunist, couldn't resist. Inside, there was a glass bottle filled with a clear liquid. Perfume. A Valentine's gift, so she does have someone. Would it be rude to take a sniff? He couldn't risk it. Instead, he rewrapped the box and set it carefully back by her door. With Valentine's Day approaching, authorities are issuing a warning to residents as a serial killer continues to target young, affluent women across the city. The victims, all in their 20s and from wealthy backgrounds, have been found in upscale neighborhoods, showing signs of a violent struggle. Authorities urged the public to be cautious and carefully vet anyone they meet, as they work to identify the killer responsible for these brutal murders. Next day, Valentine's Day. Tony watched the tenants leave for their romantic nights. He was, of course, alone, sitting in his maintenance closet as usual. But then Ivy appeared collecting her mail. Valentine's Day, Tony said, trying to sound casual as he leaned against the wall. Not much to celebrate when you're alone, huh? Ivy looked at him for a long moment, her icy demeanor softening just the slightest bit. I suppose not. And as if she were reading the situation, she offered him, "But you're welcome to come in for coffee. I know how it feels to be lonely." Tony's heart skipped a beat. A woman inviting him in? to plunge a clogged toilet. Inside the apartment felt strange. It was all too perfect, too curated. The scent of perfume hung in the air. It was like stepping into a world that didn't quite exist. Ivy offered him coffee as they sat down. Tony found himself sharing a little too much. He talked about how it had been years since he had a Valentine, how his life lacked the good things other people seemed to have. But Ivy didn't react the way he expected. She didn't offer sympathy. Instead, she just stared at him with those cool, unreadable eyes. "You've been watching me, haven't you?" Tony's stomach flipped. How did she know? Ivy smiled, a hint of something sinister in her expression. "It's okay. But tell me, Tony, is that really all you have to hide?" No, it's not like that." "Tony, I said it's okay. I didn't mind. You can tell me anything." "Really?" "Really. I've been watching you. I put a camera in your package, actually." "Oh, wow. Now isn't that hot?" Ivy reached into her bag and pulled out the same bottle from the package. "And this?" "Yes, the perfume," Tony said, his voice trembling with uncertainty. "No, not perfume." She sprayed the liquid into the air, the sickly sweet scent filling the room. Tony's head began to swim, his vision blurred, and his heartbeat thudded in his ears. Tony's head lolled forward as he blinked through the haze. When his vision cleared, he realized he was tied to a chair. Ivy's vanity mirror loomed before him, lined with neatly arranged makeup brushes and shimmering glitter shades. His pulse quickened, but excitement flickered in his eyes. "I didn't know you had your eyes on me too." "Oh, Tony, you have no clue what's been on my mind." Ivy turned away, rummaging through a drawer. A soft hum filled the room before Tony recognized the sound. Electric clippers. He stiffened. "What are you gonna do with that?" "You'll see. You'll see." "Stop! Stop! What are you doing? Why are you doing this?" Ivy didn't answer. Instead, she placed a blonde wig on his head and gave him a new look. Spun the chair around. "Now that's more like my taste." "What?" All of a sudden, Ivy peeled off her own wig. Beneath it, short cropped hair, a sharp jawline. Ivan had lived many lives under many names, constantly shifting identities like a chameleon. Always a woman, always someone vulnerable, someone innocent. In his twisted mind, he relished the thrill of taking the lives of high-profile women. Cautious, careful, making sure to always leave no trace. That's what got him to move from one luxury apartment to the next. But something about this apartment was different. Something that had changed with Tony. There was an unspoken agreement now, a game they both played, with him unknowingly being the pawn. Tony had become a problem. Tony's watching had compromised Ivan, and he couldn't afford any mistakes. He learned the hard way, not to leave loose ends. And Ivan couldn't afford any more mistakes, with the police picking up on all his targets he disposed. He learned the hard way, not to leave loose ends. Where's Tony? He was fired. I'm the new superintendent. A superintendent at a high-end luxury apartment, perhaps better than being a makeup artist, especially with his taste in women.
Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.